You've been scattered, pulled apart by distractions, broken into fragments by a world that thrives on your weakness. But listen carefully. No empire was ever built by a man who couldn't control his own mind. No dynasty was forged by someone who wandered aimlessly, letting every temptation devour his focus. The truth is brutal. Life doesn't reward the half-focused. It rewards the obsessed. Power is not given to those who dabble. It is seized by those who lock in with cold precision. You want to be untouchable? Then you must train your focus as if it were a blade. Ruthless, sharp, unforgiving. Every wasted hour is not harmless. It is betrayal. A betrayal of your future self. A betrayal of the empire you could command. While you scroll, while you hesitate, while you doubt, your rivals sharpen their claws. They plan, they move, and they will crush you if you don't rise above. This is not balance. This is not peace. This is war. Either you command your mind, or you become a servant to chaos. Right now, prove you understand. Comment this phrase: I sharpen my mind like a weapon. Because from this moment forward, weakness dies here. 2. The strategy of power. Power is not taken by chance. Power is taken by design. Strategy is the silent hand that bends the world to your will. Machiavelli understood this. Men are predictable, weak, desperate for comfort. That desperation makes them tools. The strategist sees not what people say, but what they fear, what they desire, and how to weaponize both. If you want to rise above the masses, you cannot think like them. You must move in silence. While they chase applause, you chase results. While they expose their emotions, you study their patterns. You remain cold, patient, calculating. That is how kings are made. That is how wolves devour sheep. The first law of power is simple. Control yourself before you attempt to control others. If your emotions command you, then you are already defeated. Anger, envy, impatience, these are chains. Break them. Only then can you chain the world. The second law: never reveal your entire hand. Men trust too easily. They bleed secrets in the name of honesty. But honesty in the arena of power is suicide. Show the world a mask, calm, unbothered, unshaken. Behind it, plot with precision. The third law: focus until the game is finished. Half measures build nothing. Either you win or you rot in mediocrity. There is no middle ground. Understand this. The battlefield is not out there. It begins in your mind. Once you conquer yourself, you can manipulate time, people, and fortune itself. That is the art. That is the strategy. Comment below: I move in silence, I strike with precision. Because strategy without action is fantasy, but action without strategy is suicide. 3. The psychology of fear and respect. Every empire stands on two pillars: fear and respect. Together, they build authority that cannot be shaken. Separate them, and you collapse into weakness. Machiavelli asked the timeless question: is it better to be loved or feared? The naive say loved. The wise know the truth. Love is fragile. Love is conditional. Love evaporates the moment you fail to provide. Fear, on the other hand, cuts deeper. Fear is remembered long after affection dies. But listen carefully. Fear alone is not enough. Rule with fear only, and men plot your downfall in the shadows. Rule with respect only, and men exploit your kindness. But the fusion of both? That creates something untouchable. When people respect your discipline, but also fear the consequences of betraying you, you become unmovable. Respect is earned by strength, your consistency, your ability to remain calm under pressure, your refusal to bend. People may not like you, but they will bow to results. Respect is born from your victories, from your refusal to flinch while others break. Fear, however, is engineered. It is the shadow of consequence. It's not about violence, it's about perception. A man who knows you cannot be manipulated, who knows betrayal will cost him dearly, will tread lightly. Fear is a shield, respect is the sword. Wield both, and you become dangerous. Never beg for acceptance, never ask to be liked. Instead, command presence with silence, with calculated words, with actions that echo louder than flattery ever could. This is cold psychology. When you strip away illusions, people are animals responding to dominance and strength. Do not blame them. Use it. Master it. The next time weakness tempts you, remember this. If you do not create fear and respect around your name, you will be ignored, mocked, forgotten. But if you master this balance, your influence will echo long after your presence leaves the room. Now, I want you to anchor this in your mind. Comment this phrase below. I command respect and I radiate consequence. Because only then will you stop living as a shadow and start walking as power. 4. The war against distraction. Distraction is not harmless. It is an assassin. It slips in quietly, steals your hours, and robs you of your empire before you even notice the loss. You think you're just scrolling, just relaxing, just taking a break. But in truth, every moment lost to distraction is a dagger in the back of your ambition. Understand this. The powerful are not smarter than you. They are not stronger than you. They are simply more ruthless with their time. They defend it like territory, because time is the battlefield. And the man who controls his attention controls his destiny. Distraction is the weapon of your enemies. Politicians, corporations, the weak around you. They want you distracted. They want you chasing trivial pleasures, consumed by gossip, drowned in entertainment. Why? Because a distracted man is no threat. A distracted man cannot build, cannot conquer, cannot rise. He becomes harmless. Machiavelli taught that the prince must guard against flatterers because they weaken his judgment. Today, your flatterer is the glowing screen that whispers, just one more scroll. Just one more hour, it feeds your weakness, not your strength. And weakness, if fed long enough, becomes your master. If you want to win, you must declare war on distraction, not manage it, destroy it. Ruthlessly, coldly, cut off what does not serve you. Silence the noise, block the parasites who drain your attention. Build an environment where only your purpose survives. This war is not easy. Your mind will resist. It craves the easy path, the dopamine hit, the false victory of temporary pleasure. But ask yourself, do you want the fleeting high of distraction or the eternal power of victory? You cannot have both. Each moment of focus is a brick in your fortress. Each hour of distraction is a crack in its walls. Which will you choose to build? And remember, your rivals are sharpening their minds while you waste yours. Somewhere right now, a man less talented than you is gaining the advantage because he refuses to be distracted. He will take what you could have owned if you do not wake up. So decide, build your empire or feed your addiction, win or stay invisible. The choice is yours. Now, anchor this in your soul. Write it in the comments below. I destroy distraction before it destroys me. Because in this war, only the focused survive and only the ruthless conquer. 5. The discipline of ruthless consistency. Discipline is the crown jewel of power. Without it, talent rots. Without it, ambition collapses. Without it, even the strongest man becomes nothing but wasted potential. Discipline is not about motivation. Motivation is soft. Motivation is emotion. Discipline is a code, a law, an iron will that refuses to bend, no matter how you feel. Consistency is the weapon of kings. Look back through history. The men who ruled, the empires that rose, were not built on sparks of effort. They were built on relentless, unshakable repetition. Every day, every hour, every moment aligned to the mission. The undisciplined man is easy to defeat. He collapses under fatigue, he negotiates with weakness, he waits for comfort. But the disciplined man, he becomes unstoppable. Machiavelli knew it. Fortune bends to those who are prepared, not to those who wait. Discipline makes you prepared. It sharpens you. It hardens you. It strips away every excuse until nothing remains but pure execution. That is why the disciplined man is feared. He cannot be bribed by comfort. He cannot be seduced by laziness. He cannot be broken by hardship. Listen carefully. Discipline is not about doing what you want. It is about doing what must be done, whether you feel like it or not. It is waking up when your body begs to sleep. It is working when your mind screams for distraction. It is pushing forward when everything in you wants to collapse. Discipline is the ability to betray your weakness before it betrays you. Consistency turns small actions into empires. One workout is nothing. 1,000 shape a warrior. 1 hour of study is a drop. 1,000 hours forge mastery. Power is not created by grand gestures. It is created by the discipline to show up day after day, no matter what. Weak men hate discipline because it exposes them. It shows them their own lies, their own laziness, their own fragile will. They run from it, but the strong embrace it. They let discipline carve them into something unrecognizable, something dangerous, something eternal. Do not chase perfection. Chase consistency. Do not aim for balance, aim for results. Each day you keep the promise to yourself, you steal power from the man you were yesterday. Each day you break it, you hand power to the world that wants you weak. And understand this, the world respects discipline because the world fears it. People admire talent, but they obey discipline. They know they cannot outlast the man who refuses to quit. They know they cannot defeat the man who never breaks his rhythm. So decide today, are you the man who bends to feeling, or the man who bends feelings to his will? Will you be remembered for fleeting effort or immortal consistency? If you choose discipline, you choose power. If you choose discipline, you choose victory. If you choose discipline, nothing can stop you. Lock this into your mind. Comment below, "My discipline is my throne." Because discipline is not just a habit. It is the mark of kings. It is the law of conquerors. And it will decide whether you remain invisible or ascend untouchable. 6. The art of cold patience. Patience is not weakness. Patience is not passivity. Patience is power in its purest, coldest form. The weak man cannot wait. He burns himself out, chasing every impulse, every fleeting desire. He lunges at shadows, he strikes too early, and in his haste he destroys himself. But the strong man, the Machiavellian strategist, understands that time itself can be bent into a weapon, and that weapon is patience. To wait is not to do nothing. To wait is to watch, to study, to calculate. The lion does not roar when prey enters the field. The lion waits, silent, unmoving, until the strike guarantees death. That is patience. That is strategy. The fool wastes energy. The predator conserves it until the perfect moment comes. Machiavelli warned rulers not to rely on chance, but to prepare so fortune bends in their favor. Preparation requires patience. You sharpen your mind, your body, your craft, while others waste themselves. You remain calm while others panic. You remain focused while others scatter. When the moment comes, you do not hesitate, you strike. And because you waited, the strike is fatal. Patience is also a mask. It hides your hunger, conceals your ambition. The world loves to study the impatient man. He reveals his intentions too early. He shows his hand before the game is won. But the patient man, he reveals nothing. He lets others underestimate him, mock him, ignore him. Then, when they are unguarded, he takes everything. In politics, in war, in business, in life, impatience is the graveyard of great men. History is filled with generals who attacked too early, rulers who trusted too quickly, men who wanted glory faster than their preparation allowed. They all fell, not because they lacked talent, but because they lacked the cold patience to let their strategy mature. Patience is not waiting forever. Patience is calculated timing. It is the ability to resist the urge of the moment for the victory of a lifetime. It is delaying gratification not for comfort, but for conquest. And when you master this art, you separate yourself from 99% of men who crumble under boredom and haste. Think about it. How many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they quit too soon? They wanted results in days, not years. They wanted recognition before mastery. They wanted the throne before they built the kingdom. Impatience destroyed them, and it will destroy you if you do not learn to master time. Cold patience makes you untouchable. When others lash out, you remain composed. When others act on emotion, you calculate. When others chase instant pleasure, you build long-term power. You become the storm they cannot predict, the enemy they cannot manipulate, the rival they cannot exhaust. So here is the command. Slow your hunger, but never kill it. Hold your ambition close, but never broadcast it. Work in silence, prepare relentlessly, and strike only when success is guaranteed. That is patience. That is dominance. Anchor this in your mind. Write it below. I wait with purpose. I strike with certainty. Because only the patient conqueror understands this truth. Fortune bends to the man who can wait longer than anyone else. 7. The mask of power. Power is not raw strength. Power is not loud aggression. Power is perception, and perception is crafted by masks. Understand this. No one ever shows their true face in the game of power. Not kings, not rulers, not conquerors. They wear masks. They reveal only what they want the world to see. That is why they last, while the reckless expose themselves and fall. The mask of power is simple. It is control. When others reveal their emotions, you reveal nothing. When others rage, you remain calm. When others panic, you stay still. This control terrifies people more than any outburst ever could. Why? Because silence is unpredictable. A mask denies your enemies information, and without information, they cannot touch you. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must appear virtuous, even if he is not. Appearances hold more weight than reality in the eyes of the masses. They cannot see inside your mind. They cannot measure your intentions. They only know what you show them. So, you show them strength. You show them certainty. You show them control. Even if chaos rages inside, your mask never cracks. But the mask is not only defense, it is offense. The mask manipulates. It deceives. It bends others to your will without force. People believe what they see. If they see confidence, they assume dominance. If they see serenity, they assume certainty. If they see invulnerability, they assume power. And once they assume, they act accordingly. That is control. That is mastery. Dark psychology thrives on masks. People want to trust. They want to believe they understand you. Give them just enough to make them comfortable. Feed them illusions, not truths. Make them underestimate you or make them overestimate you. It does not matter. What matters is that you control the story. Consider this. A mask is not a lie. A mask is a weapon. You are not deceiving for sport. You are deceiving for survival, for dominance, for conquest. Those who scream authenticity are the same who bleed their weaknesses for all to exploit. The world does not reward honesty. The world rewards results, and results are shaped by masks. Cold power is about balance. Show just enough humanity to gain respect, but never enough vulnerability to invite attack. Let people admire your strength, but never give them the tools to dismantle it. The mask is the fortress around your mind, and only fools tear down their fortress in the name of being real. When you master the mask, you are untouchable. Enemies cannot predict you. Rivals cannot manipulate you. Friends cannot fully know you. They only know the role you allow them to see, and that role is always in your favor. But here's the warning. Do not believe your own mask. Many men fall because they start worshipping the image they created. They forget the mask is a weapon, not their essence. Never confuse the tool for the truth. Behind closed doors, you sharpen yourself. Behind the mask, you remain raw, calculating, hungry. But in the world, you show only the face of power. So ask yourself, what mask are you wearing? Are you showing your weaknesses without realizing it? Are you bleeding honesty into the hands of those who will exploit you? Or are you crafting the perception that makes people bend before you? Because perception is everything. People do not follow truth. They follow strength. They follow control. They follow masks that project certainty. Now, I want you to seal this into your mind. Write it below. I wear the mask of power. I reveal nothing. I control everything. Remember, your enemies are watching. The world is watching. If you master the mask, you will always remain in control. If you fail, you will always be controlled. 8. The ruthless elimination of weakness. Weakness is the greatest enemy of power, not your rivals, not your critics, not even your failures. Weakness is the silent killer that rots a man from within. It starts small, hesitation, excuses, procrastination, but soon it infects every corner of your life until you are hollow, harmless, and forgotten. If you want to rise above, you must not tolerate weakness. You must hunt it down like a predator, identify it, expose it, eliminate it without mercy. Weakness cannot be negotiated with. It cannot be managed. It must be destroyed. Machiavelli understood human nature. He knew men would always choose comfort over discipline, excuses over execution, pleasure over progress. And he knew that rulers, conquerors, and strategists could only rise if they stripped themselves of that same disease. If you want power, you must treat weakness as treason, because every time you let it live inside you, you betray your own future. Weakness takes many forms. It is physical, when you allow your body to decay, when you feed it trash, when you lack the endurance to endure long battles. It is mental, when you fill your mind with distractions, gossip, lies, and illusions, instead of sharpening it with knowledge, silence, and strategy. It is emotional, when you let anger, jealousy, and self-pity control you instead of using them as fuel for your dominance. And here's the truth. Weakness never stays small. If left unchecked, it multiplies. The man who makes one excuse will make 100. The man who indulges in one distraction will surrender years. The man who lets one fear dictate his choices will build a life shaped by cowardice. You cannot afford that. If you want to be untouchable, you must carve weakness out of yourself like a surgeon cutting away rot. And that requires ruthless honesty. Look in the mirror and ask, where am I failing? Where am I soft? Where am I lying to myself? Most men will never do this. They protect their ego instead of killing their weakness. But their ego will not save them. It will bury them. Elimination is simple, but not easy. You cut what does not serve you. You burn habits that drain you. You exile people who poison your focus. You silence voices, external and internal, that try to keep you average. You replace weakness with strength, discipline, focus, endurance, cold resilience. This process is brutal, but so is life. Better to cut yourself now than be cut down by the world later. Dark psychology demands this. Never show weakness to others. People exploit what they see. They will test your insecurities, weaponize your emotions, and bleed you dry if they can. That is human nature. Do not give them the chance. Internally, acknowledge your flaws so you can destroy them. Externally, project strength so no one dares challenge you. And remember this, weakness is contagious. Surround yourself with the weak, and you will inherit their disease. Surround yourself with the undisciplined, and you will absorb their habits. That is why rulers and warriors chose their circles carefully. One weak man in your ranks can destroy your empire. One weak thought in your mind can destroy your future. So you must be ruthless. Not cruel, not reckless, ruthless. Cold precision in cutting away what does not belong. Ruthless in discipline, ruthless in focus, ruthless in the elimination of every trace of weakness that hides inside you. Do not romanticize it. Do not pity it. Weakness has no place in a man who wants power. It must be hunted, starved, and buried. Because the truth is simple. The world will not respect the weak. The world will not follow the weak. The world will crush the weak. So eliminate it before the world eliminates you. Now burn this into your mind and make it real. Comment below, I kill weakness before it kills me, because only the man who eradicates weakness earns the right to call himself powerful, and only the powerful shape their destiny. 9. The will to dominate fortune. Fortune. The world calls it luck, chance, fate. But Machiavelli exposed the lie. Fortune is not some untouchable goddess. Fortune is a force that bends for those who have the will to dominate her. Most men bow to fortune. When it favors them, they smile. When it crushes them, they break. They live like leaves in the wind, blown wherever circumstance decides. That is why they remain ordinary, forever victims of the storm. But the strategist, the cold mind, the disciplined warrior, he sees fortune differently. He treats her like a wild river. If you do nothing, the current drags you wherever it pleases. But if you build walls, if you dig canals, if you command its flow, then even the river bends to your design. This is the will to dominate fortune. You do not wait, you do not beg, you prepare, you position, you seize. Fortune bends to the bold. She despises hesitation. She despises weakness. She tests men constantly. And only those ruthless enough to act, those disciplined enough to endure, take control. Machiavelli wrote that fortune controls half of our lives, but the other half is in our hands. Half may sound like little, but in reality, it is everything. That half decides who rises and who falls. The weak man wastes it. The strong man exploits it. If fortune is the storm, then your will is the fortress. Build it high enough, strong enough, and the storm cannot destroy you. But domination of fortune requires 3 things: preparation, boldness, and relentless focus. Preparation. You sharpen your body, your mind, your skill, long before the opportunity arrives. Fortune favors the man who is ready. When doors open, the unprepared stumble. The prepared walk through like kings. Every hour you train, every sacrifice you make, every distraction you kill, it all builds your readiness for the moment when fortune tests you. Boldness. Fortune does not reward the timid. The cautious man waits for permission. He hesitates until the opportunity is gone. The bold man seizes it, even if it's imperfect, even if it's dangerous. Boldness terrifies rivals, inspires allies, and bends fortune itself. Boldness is not recklessness. It is the courage to strike when others freeze. Relentless focus. Fortune will try to distract you, tempt you, test you. She will whisper of comfort, of compromise, of surrender. You must ignore her lies. The moment you lose focus, she abandons you. But when you stay locked in, unyielding, obsessive, fortune cannot resist you. This is dark psychology. The world pretends fortune is random, so the weak can excuse their failures. They say, he was lucky. They say, it wasn't meant for me. Lies. He was not lucky. He was prepared. He was bold. He was focused. And you were not. If you want to dominate fortune, you must kill this weakness in yourself. Stop waiting. Stop praying for perfect timing. Stop thinking fortune owes you anything. She owes you nothing. But she respects force. She respects will. She respects the man who seizes her by the throat and bends her to his empire. And here's the secret. Fortune always appears to test you when you least expect it. That is why discipline matters. That is why patience matters. That is why focus matters. Because when the test comes, there will be no warning. Either you are ready or you are erased. History proves it. Conquerors, kings, innovators, they were not men of chance. They were men who bent fortune. They built when others doubted. They struck when others feared. They endured when others collapsed. And fortune bent because fortune respects dominance. So you must ask yourself, will you be the man fortune bends to, or the man fortune crushes? Will you be the master of your river, or a drowning fool in its current? Anchor this truth into your soul. Comment below, I do not wait for fortune, I bend her to my will, because fortune is not destiny. Fortune is prey, and only the ruthless hunter controls her. 10. Untouchable. The iron code of victory. You've heard every weapon, you've learned every law, but all of it leads to one purpose, to become untouchable, not by hiding, not by running, but by forging yourself into a man so sharp, so disciplined, so calculated, that nothing, not enemies, not fate, not weakness, can break you. To be untouchable is not to be safe. Safety is an illusion for sheep. To be untouchable is to be dangerous but controlled, feared but respected, ruthless but strategic. You are not begging for peace, you are creating dominance. And that requires an iron code, a set of principles unshakable under pressure, unbroken by temptation. This is the iron code of victory. Live by it and you rise, break it and you fall like every weak man before you. Law 1. Control yourself before you control the world. If your mind owns you, the world will own you. The weak are slaves to emotions. Anger controls them. Desire blinds them. Fear paralyzes them. You must master your emotions like a king masters his court. Reward loyalty, punish betrayal, and silence rebellion. Only then can you command others. Law 2. Focus until you win. Distraction is death. You either build your empire or watch it burn under wasted time. Fortune bends to the man who cannot be moved, who gives every hour, every thought, every ounce of himself to his mission until the victory is carved in stone. Half measures build nothing. Obsession builds empires. Law 3. Ruthless elimination of weakness. Weakness is treason against your future. Every excuse, every indulgence, every wasted moment is betrayal. You cannot tolerate it. You cannot pity it. Hunt it, expose it, cut it out like disease. Replace it with strength, with endurance, with silence. Weakness dies, or you do. Law 4. Wear the mask of power. Never reveal everything. Never hand people the weapon to destroy you. The world feeds on vulnerability, so you give them only what you want them to see. A mask of control, a mask of confidence, a mask that blinds your enemies while you move in silence. Behind it, plan with precision. Behind it, sharpen your claws. Law 5. The patience of the predator. Do not strike too soon. Do not rush your hunger. The lion waits for the moment when victory is certain. The general waits until the enemy is weak. Patience is not delay, it is timing. It is knowing when to strike so the kill is permanent. The impatient die, the patient conquer. Law 6. Discipline over everything. Motivation is for the weak. Discipline is for the rulers. You show up whether you feel like it or not. You execute whether you're tired or not. Each day you obey the code. You sharpen yourself into something unbreakable. Discipline is not a choice. It is the foundation of every victory. Law 7. Command fear and respect. Loved or feared, both. But if you must choose, choose fear. Love is fragile. Fear is remembered. Respect is earned through results. Together, they create a presence no man dares challenge. Be respected for your strength. Be feared for your consequences. That combination makes you untouchable. Law 8. Dominate fortune. Fortune bends for the bold. Half of life is chance. The other half is in your hands. The weak waste their half and blame destiny. The strong seize their half and bend destiny itself. Prepare relentlessly. Strike boldly. Focus obsessively. That is how you command fortune. Law 9. Build the fortress within. Your empire begins in your mind. If your foundation is weak, the world will collapse it. Build resilience, build endurance, build the inner fortress no insult, no betrayal, no storm can destroy. A man with a fortress within is untouchable, no matter what burns outside. Law 10. Never break the code. Your code is everything. Without it, you are just another man, soft, distracted, lost. With it, you are immortal. Empires fall, names fade, but men who lived by iron codes are remembered as rulers, as conquerors, as untouchable. Now, listen closely. This code is not theory. It is not motivation. It is law. You live it daily, or you don't live at all. And if you truly live it, if you truly embrace every principle, the world cannot touch you. Enemies will fall before you. Fortune will bend to you. Weakness will vanish from you, and you will stand as something rare, something feared, something eternal. But there is one more truth. Most men will never live this code. They will nod. They will listen. They will comment. Then they will go back to weakness, back to distraction, back to mediocrity. And that is why they will remain forgotten. You must not be like them. You must separate yourself. You must walk this code like a shadow, cold and focused, while the world burns around you. This is the difference between the average and the untouchable. The average hopes, the untouchable acts. So I demand this. Declare it now. Comment below. I am untouchable. I live by the iron code. Write it, own it, seal it. Because words become actions, actions become habits, and habits forge destiny. And now, the final command. If you are ready to sharpen your mind daily, if you are ready to embrace the cold truth, if you are ready to fortify your spirit against weakness and mediocrity, then join this fortress. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so you never miss the weapons I deliver. This is mental fort. This is where weakness dies. This is where warriors are built. And this is where the untouchable rise.